Instructions for accessing subtitles in a language other than English are included on our board meetings webpage as well as in the description below. Instrucciones para acceder a los subtítulos en un idioma que no sea el inglés se incluyen en nuestra página web de reuniones de la Junta, así como en la descripción a continuación.
All right, good evening and welcome to the Ross Valley School District Board of Trustees regular meeting. Today is October 8th, 2025, and I am calling our meeting to order at 6:01. We have 5 trustees present in person at the Ross Valley School District office at 100 Shaw Drive in San Anselmo. Myself, Rachel Litwack, Anna Marsh, Chris Cobb, Daniel Cassidy, and Shelley Hamilton. We also have 1 cabinet member present here, Superintendent Tyler Graff. Our meeting is being live streamed via YouTube, and the link is on our website and on the agenda. There will be a 60-second delay between the meeting and the YouTube live stream. An audio recording of the meeting will be made available to the public on our district website within 72 hours following the meeting. Public comments regarding item on closed session agenda items will be heard prior to the board recessing into closed session. Once the public comment period is ended for the closed session agenda item, no more comments will be taken and we will proceed with the agenda. Since we have no public here, that's not relevant at the moment. So I will begin with item B, closed session. I'm going to identify our closed session topics. We have 1 item, public employee performance evaluation, title superintendent pursuant to government code section 54957. And with that, there's no public here for a comment, and I will recess us to closed session at 6:02. All right, and welcome back. It is 6:47 and we are reconvening from closed session into open session. I'm going to report out from closed session. We actually have nothing to report. There were no decisions made in closed session. Joining us in open session are our, get the title right here. I've got our Assistant Superintendent of Education Services, and I've got our Director of Student Services here, Lori O'Connor and Julie Wilcox. All right, and with that, moving on, our next item is procedural items. We have the Pledge of Allegiance and Democratic Reflection. So if you'd like to stand up and join me in the pledge, please do.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And our next item is adopting the agenda and time allocations. Did anybody have any changes, questions, alterations? We have no public here for public comment. Anything? Not all. Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda and time allocations.
Great, got a second?
A second.
Great, and Chris?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Daniel?
Aye.
Shelley?
Aye.
Rachel? Aye. All right, so we have an agenda. Our next item is communication, public comment regarding items not on the open session agenda. We have no public here to comment, so I'll move on to the next item, correspondence and communication to the board. We don't have anything listed there, so moving on, I will have, we have announcements by labor unions, CSEA, RVTA. We have no representatives here from them today, so moving on to E, presentation and or action items. First one we have is public hearing and recommended adoption of Resolution 022526 in the matter of sufficiency of instructional materials. And this is Julia Wilcox.
Yeah, so this is something that we bring every year. It needs to happen within the first 8 weeks of school, and this, I think at this point you open the public hearing.
Yes, all right, so sufficiency of instructional materials 2025-26. Education Code Section 60119 establishes steps and procedures to ensure the availability of textbooks and instructional materials. Accordingly, the governing board of a school district shall hold a public hearing or hearings at which the governing board shall encourage participation by parents, teachers, members of the community, and bargaining unit leaders interested in the affairs of the school district, and shall make a determination through a resolution as to whether each pupil in each school in the school district has or will have, prior to the end of the fiscal year, sufficient textbooks or instructional materials, or both, that are aligned to the state Common Core standards and are consistent with curriculum frameworks adopted by the California State Board of Education in mathematics, science, history, social science, English language arts, and as applicable in health and foreign language. I now call our public hearing open. It's 6:50. There are no audience members here to comment, so I will now call the public hearing closed, unless anybody else up here wanted to say anything as public members. Okay. So I will call our public hearing closed at 6:50. Our next item is approval of resolution 022526 for sufficiency of instructional materials for 2025-26.
And just to add, we've had no complaints about sufficiency of instructional materials, and in fact, we've been moving forward with various adoptions. You've heard a lot about our elementary English language arts program, EL Education. We have a new middle school math program, Amplified Desmos Math. I spent the day with TK on Friday looking at curriculum. They're already using a program called Haga for phonemic awareness, but we're looking into how they want to frame their math curriculum, and we have another program that we're looking at called Get Set for School, which comes from Learning Without Tears, which has some really good literacy work in there. And and science at the middle school level is taking a look at Open Sci Ed, which is a fantastic open source program. And all of our grade levels there are piloting units. And so, as is always the case, we make sure that we are using, current materials that are well researched and are in alignment with state standards and state frameworks, and all of our LCAP missions and goals. And I think with that, staff recommends approval of the resolution.
Do we have any questions?
Yeah. No, any questions?
There's no public here for comment? Or any discussion on this one? Okay. I'll entertain a motion on this item.
I'll make a motion to approve the adoption of resolution 022526 in the matter of sufficiency of instructional materials.
Great, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
You beat me.
Okay, Anna?
Aye.
Daniel?
Aye.
Shelley?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Rachel? Aye. All right, thank you, Julia. Our next item is enrollment update.
Great, that's me. Can you put up the enrollment one first? There you go. Can you zoom in to the top? Great. So you can see here, scroll down just a tad. There you go. We're up from 1683 last year to 1719. And if you look down at the colors at the bottom, you'll see a lot of that is actually coming in TK. So the orange TK last year is at 87 and this year it's at 143. You can kind of compare that way. Or you can follow the orange from the TK last year up to the kindergarten this year, and you can see we took in a lot more kindergartners from TK. So I expect that 143 TK number to go up slightly because I think some families still have their kids in preschool and they'll enroll in kindergarten. That number won't go up huge, but I do expect that it'll go up a little bit. If you look down the far right-hand column, you'll see Brookside's down about 6 students, so pretty flat. Hidden Valley's almost exactly flat. They're down 1 student. Manor jumped up quite a bit, almost 20 students. And Wade Thomas actually jumped up quite a bit, and Wade is already our biggest elementary school. So you can kind of see the numbers that way. And then our middle school stayed just about exactly the same. And you can see that we had 3 students leave us from 6th grade as they matriculated to 7th grade. So pretty good enrollment there. And then we had actually kids join us from 7th grade to 8th grade, which is kind of an interesting one. But overall, the numbers up. It's good news, and I'm hoping that trend continues, that we see another 15 or 20 students come every year.
Do we have an idea where the kids that are coming into our school district are coming from?
From the middle school, it's most in that transition from 5th to middle school, it's mostly RVC students. kids, it's really random. I actually get an email when there's a new enrollment, and I open up that email every time because I'm super curious to see where they're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time it's like from outside the area, and families just moving in. And it's kind of the same trend when they're leaving. It's like we're moving to Alabama for a new job, or up to Seattle, or to Turlock or somewhere else. So it's not like they're all leaving to a specific place.
Do you know that 10 students from kindergarten to first grade, there's 10, it goes from 163 down to 153.
Mhm.
And that seems like an interesting or odd.
Yeah, I have some assumptions about why that is, and I'm happy to talk with you
Okay.
about that offline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Great. Let's take a look at the attendance. So this is for the first month of the school year, and start over there at Brookside. Brookside's down a little bit, a little bit less than 1%. It looks big on that graph, but it's down from 97.8 to 97. And Brookside absolutely crushed the goals early last year. They did such a remarkable job. They were very high on attendance last year and just down slightly from this year. Hidden Valley's actually the opposite. They're increasing their attendance this year. You can see Manners up a little bit, Wade is up a little bit, White Hill is down just a little bit, but overall, we had a very strong start to the school year last year with attendance, and we're building on that trend. So thank you to all the families who are sending their kids to school every day. It helps with social emotional learning, academic achievement, and obviously helps us fund our schools as well. So this is kind of a 3-for-1. If your kid is running a fever for over 24 hours or throwing up, keep them home. Otherwise, send them to school like my mom did back in 1980. Any questions about enrollment or attendance?
It's good stuff.
Helpful.
No questions? All right, there's no public here for comment.
Do
I'll bring it back for discussion.
you remember what our low was right after COVID or what?
88, I think.
For attendance,
Yeah.
it was right around 93 or 90. I
Okay.
think it was 93.
That's what I was
Because
saying.
over the last few years, we went from 93 to 94 to 95 last year.
Okay.
And I'm hoping if we could do another 0.5%, if we could get up to 95.5 or even 96%, I would be really proud of that. And I think that's kind of A+ work if we're getting 96%, 95.5% attendance every day.
Okay.
That's really good. And I think there's just more awareness of spreading sickness now than there was in 2019.
Right.
So that pre-pandemic level of 96.5 or 97% is probably unrealistic, but to get to 95.5 or 96% I'd be very happy with that.
That was interesting when you said that. Wait, Tom, I said 316 students this year is like our biggest school. When I think of schools, I'm thinking of an elementary school. 316 seems really small to me, but it's nice. It's a nice thing that we offer our community is these actually very small kind of private sort of sized schools. I grew up in California or in Southern California, and like this size school was like this would all be one school from where I grew up. So it's interesting for me to see.
I think it is
Small size map.
it's an undersold component of what we offer, is a really tightly knit community. Your kid is known by all the teachers, your kid is known by the principal, your kid is known by your friends and your neighbors, and having schools of this size really offers that community feel. And you're right, you get that in a private school that you pay $20,000 for, and here you get it in your local neighborhood school. So we're really lucky.
Any more comments on this agenda item? No. Thank you for the update.
Yep, I'll do this quarterly for us, so not quite as frequently as we did last year.
It's nice to see upward trend. Right, thank you, Claire. Our next item is consent actions. Does anybody have anything in here they would like to pull out for discussion or talk about? If not,
I would like to pull item 4 out, which is the agreement with San Francisco State.
Okay.
Just had a quick question. Is it always San Francisco State? Is this a renewal of a 5-year agreement, or I'm just trying to understand the
We have
relationship?
agreements with a number of universities with whom we hire someone in there, as an intern, on an intern credential, and San Francisco State is one
And
of
they're
those.
rolling, I suppose. Okay, just making sure,
And then
like
they
this
get
is just,
renewed.
it's time to be renewed.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. Is there anything that they would do or would keep us from doing a 5-year renewal? Have we pulled back from
The
any
one
other?
thing that we considered for the first time, they're asking us to provide to get them $1,000 for them to handle their mentorship aspects that they're responsible for, and we've never done that before. But we talked about it at cabinet and feel like we want the right teachers in the classroom, and if it's a teacher on an intern credential, but we feel like they're really strong, $1,000 is something that we
Okay,
feel like makes sense, and I think just everyone is managing costs right now.
okay, all right. That was my only question for that. Thank you.
so you okay putting that back on consent?
Hmm?
You're okay moving that back into consent?
I am, thank you.
There's no public here for public comment. Do we have any other items on consent we wanted to pull out and discuss? Okay. If not, I'll entertain a motion on consent action.
Make a motion to approve consent items.
Second?
Thank you both. And Shelley?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Daniel?
Aye.
And Anna?
Aye.
Rachel, aye. All right, so we have approved consent actions. Thank you very much. Our next item is board business. We have committee updates, reports from, and announcements by trustees. All right, what have you all been up to?
I'll start. Let's see. Rock and roll to school day today. So fun. Fire truck escorts, all of the fun things.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, there were reporters there, so probably tomorrow there'll be something in the Marin J. Families love it. Like just crowded the streets from the town hall to Wade.
That's great.
It was really cool. I really appreciate last week that we so I wasn't part of the board last year, and I know the scheduling. I actually don't know how that works quite yet, but I really appreciate, and I just want to point this out, I've had families that we get Yom Kippur off, that we recognize that, and I appreciate it on a personal level. I'm Jewish, and then also a lot of other Jewish families I know. So I know a couple years ago we didn't, and so I think it's wonderful that we do, and we should continue that. So yeah, a lot of families I know. It was great. It wasn't just an opportunity to go out of town, which is great for a lot of other families. But yeah, and there was, I don't know, I'm curious to see if anyone knows about the other schools at Wade. There was an assembly that I helped out with last week that talked about Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And that was nice. Committees this morning, I had an E2 meeting. It was my first. And I felt like the new kid, for sure. I didn't know really half of what they were talking about. But I'll give some updates anyway. So one thing that everyone was talking about is their new food service. So a lot of D's Organics is, I don't know if that was one that we had considered. No. So but it was the same sort of like, like things rocky start like that we had, with like so many more kids signing up. And so it was long lines. And I mean, it was 3 of the different schools, Mill Creek and a couple others, had just gone with this other company. And they said it's overall, like it sounds very similar, like compostable packaging. And, but it sounds like that they've all been having the same kind of getting off the ground issues that we have. So that's nice to hear. And let's see. Oh, the other big thing that they were talking about was middle school athletics program, which is not on my radar. That's yet. But that if it's like it's progressing, and I'm sure Tyler, you know a lot about this, but it was interesting to hear about that there, there's a lot going, and if it continues to progress, it would start fall next year, is what they said. So anyway, I have a lot to learn about that. I didn't really know about that, but
Did this food service provider, did they mention completing or sharing a report? They had contracted somebody to do a study of all the different food service stuff across the county. Did they mention that at all?
No. No, they no, it sounds like there was a mass exodus from Lunchmaster that I didn't know about. Which, all for from a parent perspective. And
Okay.
yeah, but there wasn't any mention of that. Yeah, and that's it. They were very timely.
Well, they have another meeting right after.
Right,
So they've got all the
yes. Yeah, that's all my business.
Cool. I've got the Golden Bell is already starting up next week. The teacher and superintendent appreciation, so that starts next week. But MCOE does all of that. I mean, there's not much from my role on that. And then the Parent Equity Task Force, attended that a couple weeks ago with Chris. That was exceptional. First time there. Long time listener. It was great. And I'm looking like we don't meet again until December, and that's really far away. So it's kind of like, Aaron, but that was a great experience. And then I'm going to Walker Creek Tuesday. I've been challenged for tetherball by one of the fifth grade teachers. I forgot that she beat me last year, so I need to start stretching for that for Tuesday night. And yeah, that's it. Are you going to come out at all, Tyler?
My calendar won't allow it. They're the two places that I could go out. They were kind of wrapping things up, or so.
Okay. Cool.
But I did get the invite from Miss
Nice.
Walden.
Brookside does it early. If you saw in the consent items, Brookside goes at the beginning of the year because they feel like it bonds fifth grade classes, which is true.
I
And
wondered that.
the other schools go at the end of the year for the other schools to bond as a unity as they enter White Hill, which is also true. So
Oh, interesting.
no right or wrong, just different philosophies. And
I wondered why it wasn't like 2 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh. See, I had Superintendent's Council Roundtable, the Multilingual Learner Event DLAC yesterday, and the LCAP and the JLAC this morning. But the first and biggest, most exciting thing was going to the Multilingual Learners Gathering, which was also DLAC, and I was like, oh, we're going to have to change the DLAC to the MLAC or something like that. But it was great. It was awesome. I was at the celebration one last year. This one was really well attended. I think it was like 50 or 60 different people, and also extremely engaging. Staff is great. Super shout out to the organization of it.
Jorge.
Yes, Jorge. Yeah, exactly. Really well organized, fun, engaging. We played a game. We got it 4 tables. We played like a Jeopardy game, and the focus of it was all around parents as core, not teachers, but core people in children's lives learning language. And I just really loved, it really embodied the multilingual learner word, because the emphasis was on language acquisition, and there was support for learning whatever language you speak at home, learning English. It wasn't just learn English, it was a language learning support. And what can parents do in the home to help their kids just learn languages and make sure that you continue to speak your home language and learn English, and they're both connected. And it was great. It just felt very supportive and belonging and helpful, and people were engaged and laughing and clapping, and all that kind of stuff. So it was great. I'm looking forward. I'm glad there's going to be 3 of them, not just 1 a year.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really exciting. And then let's see, Superintendent's Council, a lot of financial stuff still, same kind of stuff that we've seen. And Tyler, you can probably talk more about that. Roundtable, which I've been on since my kids were little, when I was on it in the very beginning. But it's interesting to see. One person made a comment about it was called a roundtable because the conversation goes around and around and around and around, which you normally think of as like a negative thing, but I actually think that it's more of it's just always this, and it's not, and I don't think it's ever going to end, which is okay, because it's this continual creative tension between the individual and the whole. Like individual sites wanting their own freedom to do what's unique to them, and yet how do you balance that with being part of a whole district? And how do you be equitable within a site and also across sites? And how do you not be too conformity to, everything, but everybody has to do exactly the same, and yet you don't want one school being able to raise, and spend $5 bazillion and another school not have enough to do field trips. And that's just, that conversation I don't think is ever going to go away. So I think I think it's really valuable that we have a place and a space to have that conversation and to continue to have it, and that we find that appreciation for that conversation and create new tools for having it. So, and then JLAC, legislative, there's been a whole bunch of bills and stuff that have passed out of committees that are on the governor's desk to sign. Some things have been signed, some things haven't. The most interesting thing I found in the meeting was was a recent and first ever report on basic aid districts and financial comparison between basic aid districts and state funded districts. And I'll get everybody the link. EdSource had a follow-up article on it, but it was basically saying that districts who get to keep their excess tax money, basic aid, have seen a 40+% growth in their income, where everyone else is like 17%. It's a pretty dramatic difference. I thought the other distinguishing factor, they did a really good job. Our bucket description of basic aid where it pours over. Yeah. They had it as a 3-tiered. I thought that description was really good. They had it basically as they took a 3-tiered approach to their research. And they said, while there might be, where it fills up and then you get excess, they had an intermediate group of basic aid districts with just a little bit of excess. Ding, 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 like us, right? And compared it to excessive extra tax districts that had a whole lot, and they actually had them in 3 different categories. And then they focused the most of their research on the 50 basic aid districts in the state that had this massive extra amount, accounted for 87% of the extra taxes of all basic aid districts.
Out of almost 1,000 districts.
There's 1,000 districts in the state, but there was like 130 or something that are basic aid. Mm-hmm. And of the 130, 50 of those 130 account for 87% of the total excess.
It's amazing.
4 of them are in Marin, 4 of them are in Santa Barbara, and the rest are in Silicon Valley. There was like 9 in San Mateo or whatever. So I thought that framework was a really interesting framework and resonated a lot with our conversations that we've been having about how this uniform concept of basic aid is actually bifurcated into these 2 different groups. They also looked at high access, low need versus high access, high need in terms of unduplicated students. So anyhow, it was a very interesting, and I was surprised it was the very first time anybody had ever done any research into it. So we'll get links to everybody. And that's it.
Have we had a board meeting since our parade?
We have not.
Yeah, we marched in the parade. The parade was a wonderful turnout.
Yes.
And kudos to Rachel for writing what I felt was one of the most incredible descriptions and successes of our schools. It was this proud moment. Stood there listening to that. It was really well written.
I agree.
Joyful, great turnout. Afterwards, they had the Bear Bash at Brookside, which was a lot of fun, big turnout. Kudos to the parents who run that. Just a joyful experience. We now have an official mascot student who wants to step up and be secretive, can't say the name, but they will be the mascot going forward thanks to marching in the parade. And just a plug, Brookside is having their annual book fair. So we are asking all parents from all of the schools to donate books from their kids' libraries that they're no longer using and help us continue the legacy of raising great money for the school and also redistributing and recycling those books to new eyes for new reading. And that's my report.
Kind of impressed you found a dedicated mascot. That's so let's see. I attended the Boots and Barbecue event at Thin Valley, which is like an annual thing they do in the fall to kind of welcome all the families. There's a giant barbecue. Like they literally have these huge barbecues there, and they have like tables and tables of food. There were like 5 tables that just had watermelon cut up on them, and they were almost like decimated by the time like the evening was over. There was an entire plate of like desserts. So there's a lot going on, but they had a live like country band, they had activities for the kids, they had a fire truck and ambulance there. They were there for the kids to climb on and take pictures with, not for emergency purposes. It was great. It was packed. It was probably the biggest one I've seen since I've been at Hidden Valley in the last like 10 years. So that was fantastic. It was a lovely event. We did the San Anselmo Community Parade with all the 5 mascots, which was super fun.
Thank you, Daniel.
I attended our second parcel tax town hall meeting. I didn't go to the first one, but I did get to the second one. So that was really interesting just to hear all the updated information, the financials and things like that. But I think Tyler, you did a really great job of kind of going through everything and kind of focusing our discussions and getting feedback. I thought that was really well done.
Big attendance too.
Big attendance,
How many
yeah.
people?
So we probably had close to 50 on the second one and somewhere between 35 and 40
And
Yeah.
new
on the first
people.
one.
Yeah, new people.
New people.
Great.
Some repeat customers, which was nice to have as well, but definitely, probably had 65 or 70 unique users at those 2 events.
One of which was actually the Tam High School District superintendent who came to stop in, which is interesting. He was sat next to me because I had met him at a meet and greet when he first came on board, so that was nice. And then I attended the Soup Council, which is my first one as a trustee over like the 5 years we've been sitting here. It's the first time I've actually been on that council. Yeah, I was warned away my first like meeting. Someone's like, "Don't ever
Was
join
it
that."
superintendents or roundtable?
So I just went to Soups.
Oh, soup.
Yeah, I just went to Soups. I'm not on the round table. I couldn't do it with work, so I only did the one. Again, it was like great financial information to share with the group, and just to see where that's going was really interesting for me. I attended the TAM Unified High School District Board meeting. They invited us because they were holding it at Archie. They're going around to the different schools to hold their board meetings to kind of get more community involvement. I wasn't planning to go, but my kid was like, "You should go," and I was like, "Okay, fine. I guess I have 2 kids in the district. I should go." So I went. And I was actually really glad I went because one of the topics that they mentioned was their parcel tax ad hoc committee and their decision about when they're going out. And their committee was recommending they go out in November of 2026. So that was something that they were recommending, but they haven't officially decided anything, but that's what their committee was recommending. And then this Friday coming up is Yes Foundation's major fundraiser, the Yes Fest. It's a big deal. It's in Santa Fe. They've got like lots of music going on. You can still buy tickets.
There's
on the
only
Yes
like
website.
20 tickets left.
Yeah, so
They're
there's still
just
tickets.
about at capacity.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And then last week, Yes had a fundraiser, a dine and donate at the Way Station, and they had some students performing. So there were some like really cute clips of that. If you look, I think on the Yes social media pages and on their website, they might have some of those recordings, but those are kind of cool. So, and with that, I will move us on to approval of regular meeting minutes for September 3rd, 2025. Do you have any questions about this? Edits, changes? Do you have any public comments on our, no? Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion on approval of the regular meeting minutes.
Mike. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes on September 3rd, 2025.
Great, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Anna?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Daniel?
Aye.
Shelley?
Aye.
Rachel, aye. All right, so those meeting minutes are approved. I have the next item is approval of special meeting minutes for September 13th, 2025. Do we have any changes, questions, alterations? Anything? Do we have any public comment on this item? No? Okay, seeing none. Any discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the special meeting minutes from September 13th, 2025.
Great, do I have a second?
I will second.
Thank you, Chris.
Aye.
Hannah?
Aye.
Daniel?
Aye.
Shelley?
Aye.
And Rachel, aye. All right, so those are approved. Our next item is approval of regular meeting minutes for September 17th, 2025. Do we have any questions, changes, alterations? No? All right. Do we have any public comment? No? All right, seeing none, do we have any discussion on this item?
No discussion, but I do want to just, Teresa, thank you for always providing these minutes that need very little
Yeah.
feedback. I really appreciate it.
Although we did miss you when we were like on vacation.
Yeah,
But you know, you're forgiven. No, seriously missed though. All right, I'll entertain a motion on this item then.
I'll make another motion to approve the regular meeting minutes for September 17th, 2025.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I will second it.
Okay, second.
All right, Chris?
Aye.
Daniel?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Shelley?
Aye.
And Rachel? Aye. All right, so those are approved as well. Our next item is Superintendent Cabinet Report. So I'll turn that over to you.
Great, I'll try to go pretty quick. Happy Latino Heritage Month. It ends on the 15th. It started on September 15th, and I think having DLAC this month was a perfect example of bringing our Latino families together to build community and help each other, support each other in their education of their kids' language development. So kudos to them. We have our first session of our parcel tax working group tomorrow night. I'm really excited about that. We've got about 20 people, community members, business leaders, staff, administration. So it should be a really good conversation. We're going to talk about 5 kind of examples of a potential parcel tax that have kind of come up in these conversations. I'm going to do the pros and cons of each of those. So really eager for tomorrow night's meeting. Been spending a lot of time on facilities. We are doing Williams visits. So that's where the county office comes and make sure the ceiling tiles are there and there's enough chairs and textbooks and all the things are posted. And we've also been doing our site walkthroughs with our principals and our maintenance and operations staff, just where the priorities for folks. Fencing has been a big one, so just school safety. And then TK playgrounds has been a big one, especially at Brookside and at Wade Thomas. I'm so excited to see that come down here in the next few months. Also, lots of conversation around field work. We're very close to handing over the Wade Thomas field to the city of San Anselmo. So the city will be taking care of that field and trying to update it. We are also on the precipice of sending out information about November 8th Field Day at Manor, where we're trying to help level and improve that field. And we invite folks out with shovels and wheelbarrows to kind of roll up their sleeves right alongside with us. And I want to thank our union partners for allowing both of those things to happen. That's union work, both of those things I just named, but they realize that it's an important thing for our community to be involved here. And it's a good partnership with us in the city with our new facilities use agreements. the city would have had a huge increase in what we would have charged them for facilities use, which would have eliminated the basketball program. And so instead of doing that, we found a creative solution to kind of trade some of their work so they didn't have to pay us as much, but it kind of took some of the work off of our team, which was really helpful. And there's a community member who I had two conversations with who is working with their family to potentially redo a field for us. So a potential 6-figure donation where they would completely redo one of the smaller fields in the district. So keep my fingers crossed that the third conversation goes well. So that's been fun. I've got a tech use and cell phone policy email coming out tomorrow with 363 respondents to that survey, which is really remarkable. So I want to thank everybody who filled that survey out. It's going to give us a lot of direction for tech use and cell phone policy. Excited that the CASP results are live. We saw some good academic growth, and Julie will present more about that at the end of the month. E2 this morning, we talked about middle school sports. I spoke with John and Mary Claire about it. Whitehill has some of the best, like the widest variety of sports in the county already for middle school. So it won't be a big change for us, other than it'll be a little more formal and a little more competitive, which I think will be fantastic for our kids. And then JLAC, I did ask a question about AB 1204, which is this a cost of living adjustment for certain school districts, kind of going back to what Shelley was saying. San Mateo, Santa Clara, and Marin County are the 3 counties in the state where there's really high excess property tax for some districts, right next to districts that are struggling to pay their teachers. So the story we've been telling for the last year is borne out in this research study by RAND and an article that was put out by EdSource. So I encourage folks to read those. That's that. How about you, Laura?
I'm good. Yeah, a lot of things going on. The California Department of Education designated next week as School Principal Appreciation Week. So when you see your school principal, give them a high five, thank them, okay? So that's exciting. We are in the midst of our special education review with Holly Wade, our consultant. This week, she interviewed about 15 staff and parents to just get some insights and feedback into our SPED programs. That's going really well. She's also putting together a family survey for special students in special education, so we'll be sending that out soon. But I want to thank all the families and teachers and staff who've taken the time to help us gain that feedback. And then as far as special education staffing goes, our Whitehill program is fully staffed, which is wonderful. We also have all of our, at this moment, all of our classroom aides and one-to-one aides are fully staffed, so we're able to support students with some more significant behavioral needs at this, so that's really exciting. We have our wellness committee meeting next week, our first one of the year, on Thursday, October 16th at 3:30. We actually have a bunch of Whitehill kids that are going to be on our committee this year, which is fantastic, so that's exciting. We are also in evaluation season, so all of our evaluation timelines are coming up as far as evaluating staff goes, and so that's just to provide staff with support and make it like more of a professional development experience for our staff. To make sure that their professional and personal goals are being accomplished. And then our special education team is working on a lot of different policies and protocols so that we can align our practices, such as we just finalized a special day class placement protocol so that we can make sure that kids are being placed there appropriately. And so we have a lot of other things that are happening now too with regards to special education and making sure that that we have these protocols so that we can all be in alignment and make sure the kids get what they need appropriately. So
Fantastic. That's great.
Great.
And just want to reiterate that the multilingual learner celebration was fabulous, and just give a shout out to Amelia Elamari, who is our ELD coordinator, who really organized the whole event and was the biggest thing is getting people in the room. And she has kind of a team of folk, which includes Jorge, that are making calls to families and saying, please come, please come, please come. And they came. So that was really wonderful to see. It was a really great night. And also all of our ELD teachers came as well, and checked in with their kids, which was really neat for an evening event.
Where was it?
It was at Brookside. Yeah. Yeah. The next one will be at Manor, and then I think the final one will be at Whitehill. Friday was both a PD day and a teacher work day. If you were a K-5 teacher or a K-5 resource teacher, you got the training in the summer for EL education, so you did 2 days of training. And we normally do 1 day in August. And so they had the day as a teacher work day. And I heard incredible reports from teachers of just how amazing it was to have a day to dig in. Lots of collaboration going on. I know at least one team, the 4th grade team, got on a Zoom for the whole district and spent a couple of hours planning together. And that was all on their own and their own decision. So that was really terrific. Whitehill continued the work that they've been doing. Every year they have an area of focus, and this year it's on student engagement and what engagement looks like both cognitively and behaviorally. And so they continued that work. The math team at Whitehill in the afternoon had their first coaching session for Amplified Dismissed Math. And that was a virtual session that they said was really, really good, 3 hours. And then coming up in October and then again in January, they'll have a full day on-site coaching where every teacher will get individualized coaching from someone from the Desmos team. Terrific. I spent most of the day with TK working on curriculum, which was just wonderful. One of the things we did was we went really deeply into the California PK standards, and they're really such great standards, really speak to the importance of intentional play being really the center point of a TK program. And all of our TK teachers are very much in alignment with those standards. And anyways, it was just wonderful collaboration and a great day and making some really good decisions together. Tomorrow we have our iReady training day. And so we have 3 trainers coming to Ross Valley, and elementaries, we're pairing elementary, so each elementary gets a half day, and grade level teams will be released to meet with the trainer. And so they'll have an expert there just to dig into their data with them and really make sense of it and help to plan next instructional moves. Whitehill will have them the whole day, but a portion, they're splitting it in 3 parts. Math has a time, ELA has a time, and SPED has a time. So terrific that that's happening. And then starting next week, our EL education coach is coming. And every site is getting a full day of coaching from the EL education coach. They'll be talking about planning and how to kind of unpack these lessons, but they'll also be modeling lessons, and then later on teachers will be teaching demo lessons and getting feedback. So excited for that. That's going to take place 3 different times this year. So we're just getting ready for our first round.
Do we have public comment on the cabinet or superintendent reports?
Yeah, I just want to speak and say Tyler's doing a great job. Very happy to have him here. Having these meetings about trying to get this passed for Ross Valley School District is very important. Having those 2 town halls is going to be very important. I met with Kevin Saavedra and Jenny Holden on Monday night. They really want to help us get this thing passed. Flat tax is going to be probably where they align, and I feel the same way very strongly to each and every one of you. Flat tax is where we need to go, because if you start doing all these other, you're going to confuse everybody. You know, cap here, you're going to lose them all. And I've been talking to many people in the community, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm very tied into this community. And so I've not heard one person say they want something different than a flat tax. So don't listen to a consultant. Listen to the people that you live near that are stakeholders in your community, which I am one, And I trying to, will help you get this passed with the help, because like Kevin and Jenny said the other night, we feed into their school districts. So they definitely want to make sure that this gets passed, because we definitely don't want to go and be like Oakland or Vallejo and go into conversion. I can't say it. Can't think of the word.
Receivership.
Yes, thank you very much. I get tongue-tied on that one. And so I want to thank all of you for what you do, because I know that, as you know, we don't get paid to sit on these boards and committees as I sit on and what you do. So I know how hard it is sometimes and how challenging it can be. But I know all you are trying to do the best for our community, but please listen to a flat parcel tax. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. And with that, our next item is meeting review. Do we have any future board topics and board direction?
I only had one administrative thing. I'm on the DLAC, but I wanted to make sure that everybody is invited or feels invited to the reclassification celebration at Manor School. So I don't know, just administratively letting people know when that is, and then people can RSVP and whatever we need to do. But I just thought it'd be great for everybody to feel included.
Thank you.
In that.
That's a really fun event.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It is.
Working from the office.
Even more people show up for that one.
When is it?
It's usually at the end of the year, like May. I don't have the dates this time.
We'll have Teresa send an invite to everybody.
17th of December? Maybe?
Great.
I don't know why I would know that.
In the evening?
It's in the
Yeah,
spring.
it's
Isn't it?
evening.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
a
it's evening.
Okay.
board meeting.
So we'll just send it out and let us know.
All right, sounds good.
Great.
Do you have any other board direction topics you wanted to discuss? Okay. Oh, good.
I was also, because you had mentioned it's the first time you'd been to Superintendent's Council,
Mm-hmm.
and it made me think, we don't have to solve this here, but it made me think about how we do that rotating of that, so everybody has it. Even if you're not on the committee, it might be great to have rotating experiences with different committees. So maybe in our next, whenever it is that we go about having conversations around what committees that we're on, and maybe before that, or somehow think about,
August.
yeah, or somehow think about during the year how people get an opportunity, because we can have two people be there, and so that people can have an opportunity to go to those meetings, because I think it's just really helpful and informative to be in those kind of meetings for all of us.
In our board bi-weekly board update, typically at the very top, you'll see those dates, upcoming DLAC or JLAC. We can add a few more things in there. So if you're not the main committee member and you're interested, you can just reach out to Teresa or I, and
Okay.
we can get you on just to, like, if you want to kind of peek behind the curtains on what Soup's Council is all about, or Roundtable or JLAC,
Yeah.
we can get you in on that.
Yeah, I got popped in a round table once, but I mean, if there's not already two of us going, then it's fine to do that.
Yeah.
They just can't have like three
Or
more.
the one or the two of us can be like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
or whatever. So yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, round table just for me, it was one of our superintendent's
Superintendent's
council. It conflicted with work, so I'd never done it for that reason, because it's daytime.
Gonna go to JLAC this morning, but Ellie was getting a Marvelous Mustang Awards.
Yep.
I had to wait assembly.
Meeting debrief. Comments, feedback, thoughts? No? Glad it's short.
Wanna run? Kept us on track.
Time.
We did a great job with questions, public comment, discussion.
Thank you for that.
Following rules.
Didn't interrupt anybody. All right, with that, any other comments? Otherwise, I'm gonna adjourn us at 7:39.
Great.
Look at that, 7:40 approximation.